Gemini, hey, thanks for dropping in with me. We are here to tap into your collective frequency and just see what's coming your way. What is the energy surrounding you? What is the general atmosphere? This is for any significant Gemini placement, or if you happen to have a prominent placement in the third house. Likewise, if you are a Sagittarius rising, that makes you a Gemini descendant, and you may find resonance with this message. I did get an image that came through for you, and it was like a splash of cold water on the face. Maybe you had to kind of like splash some cold water on your face to sort of prepare you to deal with something. It's like I'm seeing somebody splash cold water on their face and then like rest both of their hands on the sink and kind of have a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror, like staring into your own eyes. There's some truth you arrived at. You snapped out of some kind of illusion, some kind of confusion, okay? It's got this very like Neptunian vibe, out of balance. You know what I'm saying? Like very illusory. This could have been due to some kind of intoxication too for some of you. Maybe some of you have been doing some experimentation with psychotropic plants or something. You journeyed a bit. It got a little heavy there, but you had like some kind of breakthrough, something really shifted in your awareness. And it was like a splash of cold water on the face. What it reminds me of is it reminds me of this time that I went through soul retrieval, right? It was a really intense experience. There was a parrot Sargi involved that was quite wild, who flew about the space saying, "They're here, they're here." I had a shaman, that was wearing a, lion mask that was like sniffing all over my body. It was a really wild experience. It was very potent though, okay? And I went through the soul retrieval, and then at the end of the soul retrieval, we were just kind of talking and we were processing things. And this shaman went out of nowhere, like threw this glass of water on my face, and it was really cold, but it snapped me out of it. And sometimes that's a technique that will be pulled in those kind of spaces, just to bring a person back into their body, like help them really become present. So there might be something about this, like you're kind of getting like brought back to your present moment. You finally like are seeing things very clearly where maybe they were a little bit confused before. You don't have this disorientation anymore. And there's also this piece that's coming in as well. Where did it go? Where did it go? Ooh, Trixie, Trixie, Trixie. Four of Swords. Okay. Four of Swords. I wonder if there's something that, has been purposefully obscured from your vision. That was an important piece that wanted to come in there. And it's sort of like trailed away. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let me turn your banner on here too. Notice that's not there. There's certain elements that are missing, pieces that are missing. There's something you're preparing to release here. There's something you're preparing to let go of here now that you saw the truth in a situation. But it's sort of got this sort of like stark wake up call. Ah, yes, now I remember what wants to come through. Maybe you came close to a particular edge that sort of frightened you. This is what's coming through. You might have gone through something that really caused you a great deal of pain. You might have, almost, you might have almost like, given up at a point there, like given up on life, this piece. You needed something that would kind of like give you a reason to like get back into the fight again. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but it is, okay? Like you needed to sort of like shock yourself back into being present here in your life, maybe you wanted to check out because you were going through something really heavy. There's this piece that's coming in here about the Wim Hof method, may be very helpful for you just to help you stay present right now. If you're having some issues with this, if you feel like you're just having a hard time, getting free of a particular like frozen state of pain. It feels like pain or some kind of shock, some kind of trauma to the system, all right? Oof. I think you've been setting up some prayers around this. You may have even been doing some deep healing work around this. For some of you, this is a health crisis, all right? Seven of Swords, all right? There's something here that it really feels like something was ripped from you. That's the vibe it's got, okay? Something that was ripped from you. And you're still tethered to it because it was like ripped from you, but you're still reaching for it, you know? And there's something about the letting go and not reaching for it and really like snapping yourself back into the present moment. It's like that moment where everything's come undone and you kind of have to tell yourself like, hey, get it together. You know, there's something that's really requiring your presence right now where you cannot be sort of like enamored after the pursuits of the past, like trying to go back to right a wrong or turn something around. There's no power there. You need to stay very present right now. That's where you have the power to affect change in this situation. And it might really require your presence in order for you to feel like, you know, you might be kind of like worse for the wear. Yeah, Six of Cups. You're doing some really deep healing work around a soulmate, okay? Some of you, this intimately interconnects with your childhood, in particular around the mother, okay? And there's something here that's just really deeply rooted that's being activated right now. And as you're having some repressed stuff come up, I feel like it's repressed memories that are coming up. There's something that's surfacing inside of you for you to address in this situation. Some of you were really wounded by a soulmate and this threw you off so desperately, down kind of like a tailspin because it mirrored something that some kind of abandonment or loss that you experienced in your childhood, right? That stole some time from you, okay? That's what it feels like. You feel like time was stolen from you. It's tracing back to something in childhood. Look at this, Nine of Swords. It's definitely related to the past. This might be really haunting you at night. You might have had trouble sleeping. You might be having stuff come up in your dreams. This could be around a Leo. This could be around a Virgo with a Hermit here. I also feel like you've been doing a lot of deep shadow work, like you've been integrating some really heavy stuff here. You've been wandering around in the dark. You opened up something here. Some of you, it was through exploring alternative means of doing this sort of like psychological reintegration, right? Some of you have been working with alternative therapies in regard to this. I got like plant medicine coming in around that. You might have been exploring this as a way to integrate, all right? It required that you went down like a particular dark corridor where you might have gotten trapped for a while. There's some kind of shadow stuff that you've been processing here. Something you've been processing here. It's really got the vibes of like a fear. You're confronting a fear. It has its roots in the deep past, and it's reflecting back to you a time of something that happened to you in the past where you felt like time was stolen from you. And there's also a sense of abandonment, great loss, abandonment. This could be in connection to the mother. This could be in relation to losing, could be in relation to losing a child too. I'm so, so sorry for anybody that is speaking to. This could have been in relation to somebody who they gave up. They couldn't get up and be in the fight. All right. Well, there's something that's asking you to, you know, stay in the fight here. There's something that's asking you to, like, you know, get back in the game, like snap out of it. Okay. You might have spent too much time integrating the shadow. It's time to rise up out of it. You need to kind of like start to emerge into the light a bit, okay, before you get trapped in that hall of mirrors. It's super important because there can be a lot of distortions if you stay too long in the shadow. And you're really being asked to bring yourself into the present. So if you're not familiar with the Wim Hof method, I highly recommend you check it out, all right? Because it is so effective. And I think his story will also inspire you with what you're wading through. And there's a reason why he came to employ his methods, which involve, you know, cold, you know, baths, cold showers. Also involves a bit of breath work, pranayama. Okay, but I think that it can be very helpful for you, and maybe even just hearing his story will reveal something to you. Yes, it's very interesting because I feel like you've kind of been frozen in this time period here, but it's like there's this gift that's wanting to be offered to you. Spirit has a gift for you. There is something valuable that came out of the experience that you've been through. Yes, there was a great loss here. Some of you may actively be in a period of recovery, or you may be reflecting back on a time that was when you really had your recovery challenge. This could be a slip, you know, this could be feeling like you backslid a bit. It's natural on the path to recovery, okay? You might be dealing with material that in the past would have really driven you to this place of wanting to disconnect. You're being asked to be present with whatever's going down here and really be present with what you're feeling, because it is the way through. And what you don't understand is there is a gift in that box of darkness. There is. And there is some kind of fulfillment that's going to come through this for you. There is some kind of personal fulfillment, personal empowerment, and reward. I got that. I feel like you're being gifted an empowerment from spirit. You're being gifted with a spiritual gift here. It's going to bring you great personal fulfillment. It's going to fill all the coffers where they have run dry. And you may have thought that there was no way for there to be any kind of restoration, any kind of healing. But we see right here, there's justice on the scene. So there is justice in your favor. Something is being balanced out here. This karmic loop is complete. And now you're getting to the other side of all this hard work that you've done. You're just not aware of it quite yet, okay? You got to trust right now and let go. And there's also this piece about you're needing a little bit more rest. You're needing to also give something a rest. It's time to like let it go, turn it over, and just trust and be really good to yourself. I think that you've been dealing with some like anxiety, some troubled sleep. I really recommend, you know, working with this Wim Hof method. It will really help you just kind of reset your nervous system. It feels like your nervous system needs a reset. And I also feel like maybe getting some kind of calming, relaxing, like evening routine going where you can really wind down at night, maybe, you know, an hour before you go to bed, like just kind of like unplug from all the social media stuff, you know, turn off your phone, maybe put on some relaxing music, maybe give yourself a little time to just nurture yourself a bit, whether it's, you know, doing some yoga or, you know, picking up your guitar and playing guitar or dancing a bit, all right? There's something that is being resolved here though, all right? And there's a reward for your work. I feel this, like you're about to receive some acknowledgement of the healing you've been through and the way you've handled a very difficult situation. And for some of you, this is somebody really showing up on the scene who's like, I'm seeing you, you know, I'm really seeing you, and I'm invested in this with you. Like I want to grow with you. I'm committed to this with you. Right? We got earth sign energy here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have potentially a situation with a Virgo where things were really out of balance, coming back into a place of balance, and it looks good. This person may have needed to kind of cut off some sabotaging influences that were still ruling them from the past, perhaps in connection to a mother, all right? We have justice here, so you could be dealing with a Libra as well in this situation, okay? But something is really coming to a place of balance here, and there's a new, renewed sense of commitment to moving forward. And I do feel like you're balancing out an important relationship. Let me see. Give me any more details about this, please, before, okay. Yes, there's some healing happening here with the Three of Cups. It's going to give you a big feeling of celebration, all right? For those of you who have been like in a process where maybe you've been in a committed relationship and you've been like eternally like in the engaged stage, you're actually setting a date. Some of you are tying the knot. It's because you went through a major healing process together, but first individually, all right? Some of you are just renewing your commitment. Some of you are renewing your commitment to your sobriety, all right? This coming through as well. You may have had a slip and you realize that just because you have a slip doesn't mean that you're not still in recovery. You had to take a detour, man. You danced with the devil a bit, but you're getting to the other side of it. You could have been dealing with somebody who had a slip in this regard, right? It could have been a really serious situation I got, but there's something that's being turned around here, and there's a big sense of celebration. So I got new lease on life kind of vibes, right? And I do feel like there's a renewed sense of commitment, a commitment to yourself first and foremost, but I feel like there's a relationship that is being transformed as a result too. And there's somebody that's in it with you, like you're not going through it alone. This is really beautiful. And there is a moving forward. There could be a moving forward in something that was held back by the mother. Like there might have been something that needed to be dealt with around a mother figure. There might have been a mother that, was factoring strongly into this situation. And this was kind of throwing everything off. Okay. This could have also been a mother that was too in control, but I'm picking it up more so as it's like a really like it's something that relates back to an old issue. It's something that relates to the past, and also just the relationship with the mother coming forward very strongly. Could be a Cancer involved in this situation. Could have also been a situation where you felt really pulled in two different directions, like my passion, my impulses, in some cases my anger, is asking me to strike out in a certain direction, and yet the better side of my logic, my reasoning, is kind of like pulling me in another direction. This may have made things choppy moving forward, okay, but I feel like where that created delays, it was in your favor. Something moves forward in a way now where true healing can happen in this situation. Okay, let me do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Look at this, brand new beginning, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, some of you, there's renewal on the home front. Some of you, there could even be a pregnancy, okay, coming into view. This is also in some cases where there was some kind of financial difficulties as well. Maybe somebody needed some time off of work because of what they were dealing with in their personal life. Some may have been dealing with some kind of mental health issues, or they were dealing with a loved one who was ailing in some way. I feel like there was some matter that really needed to be dealt with in this situation. I do feel like there's a reinvigoration of the finances. There is a judgment in your favor. There's a lot of new growth that's going to come from this. Some of you may really be finally like stabilizing things on the home front. Some of you may be moving, okay? And look at this. Yes, judgment in your favor. Home sweet home. I do feel like you're going back to a place called home, and that's going to mean something different for each of you. Some of you are really finding the way back home to another, and you're walking each other home. You're invested in like really growing with each other. There's this sense of rest. There's this sense of ease. Some of you are finding, peace restored at home, or you're resolving a legal matter that has something to do with the home, all right? And it was bringing up a lot of deep-seated like family issues, stuff that goes back, to your childhood roots. But something is being resolved here. Something is being balanced out. There is a judgment and a restoration here where there was thievery, where there was unfair loss, or where you feel like time was stolen from you. Do you see this? It almost looks like an hourglass that little gnome is resting in. It's like, no, time's on your side, okay? It's coming in perfect timing, and it moves you into a position of empowerment here. So this is really beautiful energy. Taurus energy coming through really strongly, you know, as showing up. We did have a lot of earth sign energy here. You could also be dealing with an Aries in relation to this matter. There could be something really significant that shifts in your situation on 420 when we have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, all right? There could be something that you get clued in about this during the lunar cycle that gets kicked off with the Aries new moon solar eclipse, okay, that occurs on the 8th, all right? So we're just about up on that, all right? This is the activation of your north node. So I do feel like something is being transformed here. You have overcome the cycle of fate, and now a new chapter opens. And look at this. We were held back before, air and fire on board. You got your inspiration fueling your passions. You're writing a whole new chapter, perhaps with an emperor here, I have to say. This is also you, you know, stepping up to that position of authority in your life, you know, where you're saying, you know what, I'm ready, you know, I'm ready to really write a new story. I'm ready to turn the page. I'm ready to have a new chapter open up for me, where I get to, you know, I get to call the shots. I do feel that. And I think it looks good. Some of you are actually starting to write about your experiences. And this will be very successful for you, all right? With the 9 of Pentacles there, okay? Yes, some of you are writing about your experiences, and you should definitely invest in this. It looks really good, but looks like a lot of growth, a lot of growth. Congratulations. You made it through the eye of the storm, and now you have a whole new vision.